You're 100% because it's not all about, and it can't always be about like the booking. It just
The
can't.
glory.
Yeah, in
It's
the
not.
glory, right? It's not about that. Yeah, because and if I think if you make it about that, you're gonna be in for a long career of suffering because I don't know, maybe bar like music, I don't know of any career that is as cutthroat and so filled with rejection as acting is.
Agreed. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Talent Agent Talk. I am your host and talent agent, Jason Lockhart, and we are bringing you educational lessons behind the scenes of TV and film. And today, I've got a super cool client and guest. His name is Christian Finlayson. Welcome, Christian.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Dude, it's so cool to have you here.
It's awesome. Yeah, I feel like I feel like we talk so much, but I haven't seen you in person
I
since
know,
like
right?
pre-COVID now. So
It probably was.
it must have been. So it's good to be back. I'm glad to be talking. Yeah,
It's also weird too because I feel like I've known you since you were like 13.
you have.
So
Yeah.
I've seen your journey and seen you mature into like this, like really, like, I mean, you were always talented, but now you're like just this really successful talented
Well, thank
actor,
you.
know?
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been crazy kind of growing up in the Atlanta side of the industry. So I think you've known me since I was probably 13, and I've changed so much over the years, and so you've seen my progression as an actor, but also just as a person, and so we kind of have a unique relationship for that reason, I think.
Absolutely. And I think that you achieved something that a lot of people don't do. I think, for anyone watching that is a parent or a teenager, a lot of teenagers, they kind of fall into that dead zone, where it's like from 14 to 17, they just don't book anything because they're going to always cast the 18-year-old to play younger.
Right.
But that didn't happen for you. Like, you crushed it with the Waltons.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the Waltons was huge. Yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And I think you really owned that and deserved it. Do you want to take me back to the audition? You remember getting it?
Yeah.
For the first one.
Yeah, so obviously the the usual process. You get that email, and I kind of knew with Jason Walton, I knew right away it was in my wheelhouse because it was kind of a nice-ish guy, but cares a lot about the hard work and all. And right around this time, like I was getting into the gym, and I was kind of I was kind of starting to take my career more seriously, and just, you grow up and you get more mature, right? And so I felt like he was right in my wheelhouse, and so did the audition, knew it went well, but you know how it goes. You do an audition, you forget about it. Yeah, Men in Black style. You just put it in the past. And when I got that call back, it was with Lev Spiro, who directed the first one, The Homecoming. And at the end of that, it was kind of. You ever seen the clip from E.T., the E.T. audition process?
No.
Where he's like, "Okay, kid, you got the job." You know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right, well,
Oh, with Spielberg?
with Spielberg.
Maybe I have, actually.
You probably have. It's a good clip, yeah. But so I do the audition just as practiced, as as I'd already studied for. It was pretty routine. And so Lev Spiro, he directed the first one. He goes, I can't make any promises right now. There's a lot of people to talk to, but I have a good feeling we're gonna be working together soon. So I'm like, all right, sir, sounds good. Try to keep a straight face, and I'm doing backflips in the parking lot afterwards. So it's exciting to because you deal with so much rejection, and sometimes even worse, you just don't hear back at all. You don't know, like, did they hate me? Do they love me? But I just wasn't quite right for it. So it's it's always cool when you get that rare moment where you get that. Yeah.
Do you remember anything during that callback? Like, was there any kind of connection you felt to the character or who you were reading with or anything that, like...
Yeah, absolutely. So I've probably like 90% of my self-tapes I've done with my coach, and also now, of course, a good friend of mine, Darren Kahn at Frat Pack. And, so I'm reading in this scene where I'm talking to my older brother, and me and Darren kind of had that relationship because, just like you and me, he's, I've been working with him since I was like 11. So he's, we've kind of just grown up together in that sense, or rather I've grown up with him, And so it was kind of easy to just fall into the scene and just, read with Darren and talk to my older brother and, give him a little crap here and there and we have that nice back and forth. Yeah.
That is huge. And I think for anyone listening, like, yes, your mic quality and your lighting quality and your background and all that is like a technical that really matters in a self-tape.
For sure.
But I
Yeah.
think your reader is also
Oh yeah.
huge part
Oh,
of
yeah.
why people book,
100%. Yeah. Because I think I mean, what you're really trying to go for in a scene is the human connection aspect, and living in that reality to the best of your ability of whatever's going on in the scene. And so every once in a while you're in a tough spot, you're on vacation or whatever, and you have to do a self-tape, and you just, you have to read with the wall, or you have to, read on Zoom.
Or your mom.
Yeah, which that's a whole nother,
Yeah.
that's for me, just because I've known my mom my whole life, right? That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, when you do have the opportunity to, read with another actor, or just in general, someone that you can connect with the person you're in dialogue with, it's so helpful.
Right.
I can't express that enough. Yeah,
It's a game changer that literally leads to bookings.
for sure. Yeah.
All right, so take me to set. So who'd you work? Like, who were some of the coolest people you worked with on the 2 films, or anything big that went down?
Oh man, so everyone. When you're on set for, so when you'll go on set and for a day player role, and you're there, and there's kind of an energy when you're on set where everyone is so happy to be there. The sound guys are happy to be there. The grips are happy to be there. All the actors, the whole team's just coming together, and they're all excited about this thing. But so often, you'll go on set and you'll make best friends for the day, and then it's just how the industry works. You might not see them again for ever. Yeah, right. And so when you have the opportunity to be on something like the Waltons, where you have your family members there with you every single day on set, there's that same level of enthusiasm, and I think for the Waltons in particular too, because it's kind of more of like a family friendly vibe. Everyone is just like so kind on set, and it's just such good energy. So I'm still best friends with all those people. Marcella Blanc, I was just talking to her yesterday. Teddy Sears, who plays our father in Thanksgiving, he's one of the best guys you'll ever meet. Bellamy Young, who plays the mom, one of the best people I ever meet. Logan Shore, I can go down the list. It's a big family, but everyone was so amazing, and you make lifelong friends very quickly being on set with people.
Yeah, it's quite the journey.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you were playing a family, so you've got that
right.
That's just built in anyways from day one.
Yeah, I think for as far as like the comparing the 2 films, that's one of the aspects of, you do Homecoming, which was our first one, and you like I said, you make friends really quickly because everyone there is an actor, everyone's involved with the industry, you have that common interest. But by the time we did Thanksgiving, we were all just so close and so tight that every single day was just like, there was no acting involved at all. We're hanging out, someone's pissed at the other person, so we're laughing together, we're having fun, and yeah, it's the most fun I've ever had on set. Yeah.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
for the second one, for Thanksgiving, you guys all had that great gift of a job without having to audition.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
a phone call.
the gift that keeps giving. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We need another one.
Yeah. Well, I think on that.
Yeah.
I was talking to Sam the other day, so we might be doing
The third
might
one.
be having an Easter. Yeah.
Well, there was always that plan. I feel
Yeah.
like,
Right.
like-
Right. I think. And I actually I don't know how much I can talk about this, but I know we're looking into doing Easter sometime next year, and then take it from there as far as anything else goes.
Well, that could be a conflict because you also booked that other recurring guest star.
That's
which,
right. That's a good problem, right?
It'd be a great problem to have.
It'd be a great problem to have. Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of want to talk about that a little bit too,
Let's do
because you just booked this huge primetime network show that's going to come back in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that audition, you auditioned against the entire country. Like the entire country was up for this role. What do you feel like you might have put into this audition that might have helped?
Yeah. Well, so for this guy, it's definitely the most complex character I've ever booked, and so but complex in a way that's just personally for my skills as an actor thus far is really in my wheelhouse, and that's kind of like I'm good with anger, and I'm good with I'm good with kind of like these darker roles at times. You know, I'm able to fall into that place a little bit easier than some other places for me. And so,
which is fascinating because that's really not who you seem to be.
it's not who I am. Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's really not. But I don't know. I think and I'm not. I don't. Anger is not like I don't have like this deep anger inside of me. But it just so happens that that's been an easy place for me to tap into for some of these roles. And this guy is one of those. You know, he's a really strange type of narcissist, and he has like he has a deep feeling that everyone is inferior to him, like on the inside, and but it's all of that kind of, you know, wound up into he's just like this high school kid, and he's just I'm not like I'm no harm or anything. Yeah.
Oh, and he doesn't know he's a narcissist.
Of course, that's right.
You know, of course
Yeah.
not. But the actor knows.
The actor
you
knows.
know?
Yeah.
So I wonder if because you feel like it's easier to tap into these things that gives you this confidence going into the audition. Like, this is in my wheelhouse. Like, I can
100%.
just crush this.
Yeah, I mean, so on the audition, this was George Pierre, and you know how since the strike, there's, you'll have to tell me, are they required to give option for live audition now? Is that how it works, or is it?
It kind of varies, but yeah, there's like a percentage of so much time available.
There's some
slots.
sort of quota. Yeah, okay. Well, I hadn't seen George Pierre in maybe since I was
years.
Maybe since I met you, you know. And so I opted to do the live audition, and one of, you know, I coached before and everything with my guy, but one of the things with the live auditions that you forget is we're so spoiled with these self takes where as long as you have someone to read with you and click the record button, you can just go on for like hours and hours and
so many takes
and just throw all these takes away. Yeah. And so I felt very prepared going into the audition. And I thought I'd done well. I felt very in it, you know, and I was like, you know, intense, and I was, you know, I was having all my thoughts and everything, but afterwards I kind of thought I threw it away, to be honest. Not threw it away like in my performance, but just like, you know, had a bad performance, you know, wasted the audition. And I felt like I was too like intense, and I was, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, I looked so theatrical there. Like that was so actory.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there may have been a little bit of truth to that, but I got a retake, right? You know, I got that email from Kelly, you know, and so I got to retape it with some notes that was basically like, okay, let's you know, ground it a bit more, let's throw it away, you know, more mask. And I was in Oxford, Mississippi at the time when I got that retape request, and so I drive out to Birmingham, Alabama, meet up with Meg Dusner of you know Meg?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Meg. Hey Meg.
Hey Meg. Yeah, she's awesome from Acting Out Academy. They're awesome. And we tried a few takes, and you know, we didn't spend too much time on it. We were maybe on like, you know, take 3 or 4, and we're like, okay, yeah, we got it. And then Meg goes, all right, you know, just for one, you know, because we're about to walk out the door, let's just do one. Just have all of your thoughts, but don't give her anything. Like I'm talking straight face, Christian. Don't let her know. Don't let her even get a peek at your hand, you know. And we just did one like that, and watched it back, and we're like, okay, yeah, this is the one.
That's the one.
That was the one. So sent it to you guys. I think like an hour later, you shot me an email. You said
good.
Christian, that was awesome. Like, I think we have a good chance of booking this. So I'm like, yes, you know.
I remember that moment.
Actors, listen up. The Southeast is one of the top markets in the film and TV industry, and get ready for a career transformation like never before. Walk away with leveled up mindset and unshakable confidence. Breakout workshops to elevate your craft, incredible agents and casting directors who will help shape your career path. This is more than just a weekend. This is your chance to build on your craft and grow your community. The career you want starts here. The question is, are you ready to own it?
I remember that
Yeah.
moment. I remember when it came in because I wanted that role for you
Yeah.
so bad, you know?
Yeah.
And you did. You put in the work. And I love that story. People don't know. They have no idea that you've been working for years and years and years sometimes.
Yeah.
And what you went through in the retake and feeling, you know, the self-esteem roller coaster that it goes through.
Yeah, for sure.
Driving far, taping with someone you're not familiar with taping with all
Right.
the time.
It's part of what makes it special, though. Yeah,
I think so too.
it's the best part. Yeah.
And I think this role could end up on every episode. I mean, who knows? Who
Man,
knows?
Yeah, I gave my all to that role, so I'm just happy that we got picked up, because I've done a pilot before where oh man, can I talk about old pilots?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So do you remember the Untitled Goonies?
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember
That was right before the strike.
That
before the pandemic.
That's right. It was
was
right.
like
Or,
right
or was it
before-
right after? I can't remember. Anyway,
It was around then.
It was around that time.
2020, 2019, 2020.
Yeah. You're probably right. Before pre-COVID. And so remember, I had that role.
Yeah.
Another bully role, actually. And man, I was on set for that, and there's a whole like fight scene. He's not racist, but he's kind of picking on like this black kid because his father's lost his job, and he's saying like, oh, your people are like stealing all of like the quotas and everything. So he's a bit of an ass. And I remember being on set for that one and just being so into it for the fight scene and just like on the brink of tears as far as how angry I was in that moment. And that of course it just didn't go anywhere. And
We never even got to see it.
never got to see it. I never got to rewatch that tape, And that's just what makes it so special to be on a pilot that gets,
That does
because most don't, and it's an honor. Yeah.
It really is. But I think it's also a nice tribute, like that you really have your head screwed on your shoulders well, that you can articulate it like that and live through the experience, and it didn't get you down. It was just a piece of you that was important, and it's helped your career. I think that experience, whether or not the world got to see it, it was really impactful for the artist that you are.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. I feel like I'm articulating terribly right now, so I appreciate it.
There's no right or wrong. We're just shooting the shit.
Yeah. Sorry, can you say it again?
That I think that
Yeah.
even though the show didn't get picked up and we never saw the footage, I feel like that was monumental in your life story.
100%.
In your artist
Yes.
career.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, that you felt something and you've used it, and you'll always use it. And you'll always know that you went there for that purpose, and it wasn't for the audience, but for you, that was still an impactful
Right. Yeah,
experience.
you're 100%, because it's not all about, and it can't always be about like the booking. It just
the
can't.
glory.
Yeah, and the
not.
glory, right? It's not about that. Yeah, because and if I think if you make it about that, you're gonna be in for a long career of suffering, because I don't know, maybe bar like music, I don't know of any career that is as cutthroat and so filled with rejection as acting is.
Agreed. And the
It's-
glory goes
yeah.
away fast.
Oh yeah.
Something comes out, and then something else comes out next week.
Yeah, right.
Right. So if you get addicted to that glory, it's really short-lived.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's gotta be about
you
the
gotta
work.
find deeper meaning in the work. You have to.
Yeah, I always say it's not about the job, it's about the career.
Yeah.
With every decision and the longevity. When we bring on a
Right.
client, it's about longevity. When we book a role, we hope that it's the longevity of relationships that, come from it, not just a paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm I think one of the biggest things I've learned is, to deal with that rejection, is that you gotta just completely let go of everything you can't control, which is like 98% of what goes into a booking, or maybe less than that, but
Yeah,
a big part, right? What do you look like? What does the casting think your essence is? What are you the right ethnicity? Are you the right height? Because you're going to be, aside from this actor who's already cast. And there's so much you can't control. And I think the only way to, keep your head on straight and not go insane is to just focus on the work and focus on the things you can control, which is like, being in class. Like, have I studied long enough for this? Like,
Yeah.
do I know what's going on in the scene, right? You can control a pretty small fraction, I think, of what goes into bookings in most places. Because I think with any booking, there's like there's a short list of actors before they make a choice who's
Always.
and they're all really talented. They're all good enough actors to get the role, but one of them is this tall, one of them is that tall, one of them has this color eyes, and you gotta let go of all that. Yeah.
I bet what helps you let go, and you might not even know this, but I know from like working with you for so long while you were a minor and always talking to your mom, is that she'd always be like, oh, he's at the beach this weekend, or he's on this trip with the guys, or he's out doing something.
Yeah.
And every time I heard that, I thought, he's enjoying life.
Yeah.
He's not just an actor. And I think there are a lot of people, specifically like actors in their 20s or 30s, where they're so focused on just booking the next job that they're not actually enjoying life in the present. And I always got to hear how you were enjoying your life, like your high school years. And I
had
think
a fun time, yeah.
Right? I know you did. I heard about it. And so it was always pretty cool that I knew like this human who's attacking life and enjoying life is also making money as an actor, like starting a career. And I think that that's a really cool...
I think that's so valuable what you just said. Yeah.
A really cool way for a human being to be a working actor instead of just somebody who is an actor all the time stressing about it.
Yeah, I think to piggyback on that, I mean, you can't be an actor without being human. And if you don't have life experiences, then you're not human, I think that's so true. Yeah, I have friends that have fallen into that where it's all about like, okay, let me book. Like let me get this.
They plan no vacations.
Right.
They have no hobbies.
Yeah, you have to have hobbies. You have to have social life because it's
human relationships.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Because it's of course part of it is just like mental health, right? And stay in the gym, right? That's good. Have friends, right? Have relationships, but I mean if you're not, if you're not getting out there and you're not living a life that's separate from your career, then you're not going to have anything to pull from when it's time for, X or Y role. So,
I think that's a huge lesson. I hope people hear that.
Yeah. I think, one of the best things, my friend Key told me this, and I think it's so true, is that everything you do in life is an acting lesson. Like if you ever, God forbid, if you get arrested, right? Okay, really know what you're feeling right now, like, and digest it and store it away for future acting, because everything can be an acting lesson. Like right now, this interview is an acting lesson for me, because not in the sense of like analyze everything that you're doing in life, like that's inhuman, but in the sense that if you want to act, you have to be able to draw from places, and you want to be able to draw from memory. So live in the moment, have those memories to draw from.
Yeah, dude. It's so great, like, not seeing you in person so often and now getting to, like, I can only just see why you're as great as you are. Like, I see you on tape all the time.
You're so kind, man.
Well, dude,
it's great to see you too, man.
I feel like you don't turn in tapes that couldn't book. Like, every tape you turn in could book.
Thank you.
Like, I think it's a real tribute to the human being that I'm sitting across from.
Thank you so much.
I hope people really get a lot out of today. And that said, one last question.
Yeah.
Is there a dream role for you? Is there something that like you really, really hope to play?
Yeah. So, okay, I grew up loving James Bond, and I grew up loving Batman. So I think those are kind of easy answers to some degree, because those are generational roles, right? Multiple people have played James Bond. Multiple people have played Bruce Wayne. So I'd love to be Batman. Who wouldn't, right? I'd love to be James Bond. Who wouldn't? But I think probably the best way to answer that would be some of my favorite roles of all time are like Leonardo DiCaprio's Jordan Belfort. Have you seen No Country for Old Men?
Yeah.
Javier Bardem as what was it, as Anton.
It's that haircut. That's what you want.
It's the hair. Yeah, yeah. Let me get the bowl cut. Christoph Waltz as Hans Landa. These are incredibly complex, nuanced characters, and that's what I want to go for. That's who I want to be. I want to be a Christoph Waltz. I want to be a Leonardo DiCaprio.
Maybe you should start writing your own role like that.
I should.
Or get with a writer friend.
Yeah.
Like, let's make something.
Yeah, I should.
Food for thought.
That's a food. Yeah.
Anyways, as a guest for being here today, you do win a free car.
I?
As you know from maybe seeing an episode or two. So
no kidding.
Feel free to reach in. Don't look though. And
okay.
See what you get.
Oh, I see. There's several.
Yeah.
All right, big
Several
money.
Cars in
big
there.
money here.
What'd you get?
Let's go. I got a Camaro. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
very nice. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna store it in a nice place.
Yeah, put that in the garage.
It'll appreciate, you know. yeah.
That's probably worth at least $1.35
Yeah.
by now.
Yeah, no miles on the clock right now.
Well, dude, again, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
It's been just awesome watching your journey, and I feel like you're always an exciting email away from something mega, you know. And so take that with you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been the greatest pleasure working with you for 8 years now.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and I hope that everybody watching today got some stuff out of this. You know, the humanity is a really big lesson. Like, I think a happy human or a human focused on living their life is just going to be a better actor. They're just always, as you said, they have more to pull from.
Right.
So thank you again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in. If you'd like to be a guest on our show because you've got a cool booking story with a lesson, you can pitch it right to us. It's talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Again, that's talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Christian. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.